The iPhone 14 Pro Max is one of Apple's top-notch phones. It has a shiny metal frame and a smooth glass back and front. The front glass is super strong and can handle some drops. The phone has speaker and mic grills on the bottom and the lightning port that won't go away. The design is very Apple-like and cool. It can handle dust and water too. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has a big 6.7-inch screen with 120 Hz that looks amazing. It's an OLED screen with a super sharp resolution, and it shows colors really well. The other thing is how bright the screen can get. It can go up to 1000 nits normally, but if you're outside in the sun, it can crank up to 2000 nits. That means you can see everything clearly even on the brightest days. Everything feels bigger and better on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Playing games, checking Twitter, watching YouTube, browsing the web, you name it. One thing I really dig is the dynamic island. It's a black bar at the top of the screen that replaces the old notch. It sounds silly, but it's actually super cool and makes me wonder what else Apple can do with it. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is a great performer, as you would expect from an iPhone. It has the new A16 Bionic chip, which is faster and more efficient than the previous models. The A16 chip can handle any app or game you want to use, and it also has 6 GB of RAM for smooth multitasking. Apple's cameras have been awesome for a while, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max makes them even better. Apple finally upgraded to a 48-megapixel main camera with a big aperture and sensor shift stabilization. That means you can use it as a 2x zoom lens too. There is also a 12-megapixel telephoto camera for 3x zoom and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera. The selfie camera is also 12 megapixel, and it can autofocus for the first time on an iPhone. And that's not all. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has a new photonic engine that makes the colors and textures look amazing in low light. The main camera takes stunning photos in any light. The colors are vibrant, the details are sharp, and the blur is natural. The ultra-wide camera is also awesome. It lets you capture more of the scene without losing quality. It doesn't make things look distorted at the edges, which is nice. And the best part is the macro mode. It automatically turns on when you get close to something. The 12-megapixel telephoto camera has been a pleasant surprise. It may not seem as impressive as the 30x and 100x zoom on a Galaxy S22 Ultra, but it works very well. It lets you zoom in 3x and capture your subject with great detail and color. This device has a 4,323 mAh battery. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is a great choice for anyone who loves a big screen. The cameras are amazing, especially for video. You can capture smooth action shots and cinematic effects with ease. The battery life is also impressive, lasting longer than most phones. If you see it first time, you will notice this is a Samsung Galaxy and Note series hybrid. It's an excellent but massive Android handset that not only ticks all the important boxes, but delivers more features than you may ever want or use. The design is an echo of Samsung's last Note device. It really is a hybrid. There will be no complaints about the ultra-high-resolution 6.8-inch screen, which offers brilliant colors and smooth motion at 120 Hz, but it's also smart enough to stop down all the way to 1 Hz, when that's all you need to save on battery life. There is a quad camera setup here. There are two 10-megapixels telephoto lenses. There's also a 12-megapixels ultra-wide with a 120-degree field of view, and then there's the 108 megapixels main wide camera with an 85-degree field of view. The camera array is strong. It's not a complete overhaul of the Galaxy S21's camera system. This is better. The optical and space zooms are simply marvels of modern technology. Virtually every image we shot looked great. The front and rear cameras do a nice job with portrait photography, courtesy of a portrait mode that's getting good enough to separate stray hairs from a bokeh background. On the front, there's a 40 megapixels camera. It produces evenly lit shot with a good amount of detail. The Galaxy S22 Ultra takes crisp-looking video up to 8K at 24 FPS and can keep your footage looking super stable with its improved Super Steady mode, Samsung app that gives you full access to all the camera controls and lets you capture and save RAW format photos, and the video conferencing app Google Duo, which both do an excellent job of showing off the phone's power and versatility, are the real highlights here. If we were to judge the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra on its cameras, and in particular the optical and digitally enhanced zoom capabilities, we might call it the best smartphone ever. We also love the thin and light S Pen, and we're thrilled that it's finally integrated, literally, into the Galaxy line. It does so many things so well, and for productivity-focused mobile users, it could be a godsend. Performance-wise, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra's Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor performs amazingly. The point is, we couldn't find a single app that was performing slow. This is also a gorgeous and quite powerful gaming phone. This device comes with 5,000 mAh battery with 25-watt fast charge, 15-watt wireless charge, and 4.5-watt reverse wireless charge support. It will easily last a full day of usage. The Google Pixel 7 Pro has a cool design that's not just about looking fancy, but also being tough. It's got this camera strip that makes it stand out in a crowd. But here's the catch: that shiny finish can be a magnet for fingerprints. However, it's not a deal breaker. You've got a choice of colors, and I'd recommend the hazel shade. It's a nice change from the usual white and black. And hey, it's water resistant with an IP68 rating. Plus, the display is scratch resistant, thanks to Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. The 6.7-inch LTPO OLED display is a visual treat. It's incredibly sharp, and the 120Hz refresh rate ensures smooth navigation and immersive gaming experiences. This display can go toe-to-toe with its competitors, even in bright sunlight, making it a delight for outdoor use. Adaptive brightness does a fantastic job of automatically adjusting to the environment. The Google Tensor G2 chipset powers this device. It may not have the latest and greatest CPU cores, but it excels in the graphics department. This chipset is finely tuned for Google's specific AI tasks. The phone feels snappy, and it can handle multitasking like a champ, thanks to a solid 12 GB of RAM at all storage levels. In everyday use, it's a winner. The camera setup on the Pixel 7 Pro is impressive. It boasts a 50-megapixel main camera, a 48-megapixel 5x zoom lens, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide macro lens. The main camera is a true workhorse, delivering excellent photos in a variety of settings. Whether you're taking basic snapshots or capturing portraits in low light, this phone doesn't disappoint. Selfies turn out great too. The camera software is where Google shines. Top Shot captures the best moments, and manual controls are easy to use. The Real Tone feature keeps your photos looking great. It's not just about taking pics, it's about making the whole photo experience better. The Pixel 7 Pro's battery life is solid. It'll easily last you a full day, no worries there. It's not a record breaker, but it's dependable. Charging is decently quick, and you can get to 50% in about 30 minutes. It comes with a 5,000 mAh battery. If you want a phone that's great for everyday use, with a focus on photography and user-friendliness, the Pixel 7 Pro is the one. It might not have all the flash on paper, but it's a champ in real life.